So, welcome everyone. It is 3 minutes past the hour, and I think that's enough time to get us started. Welcome, one and all, to Data Plus Women Germany. Today, we have a topic that is very close to my heart. We are talking about branding your superpower. But first, just a few words about Data Plus Women. Data Plus Women is an initiative aiming to offer women a community around their work in data. So we want to give people an opportunity to learn and network in the area of data analytics, to share your knowledge and experiences, to celebrate your successes. We are called Data Plus Women, but we're actually aimed at people of all genders. We are united under one common goal of advancing diversity in the data community. We want to offer a platform to all minorities. So whether that be gender or age or language or ethnicity or academical background or any other kind. We want to help you find a secure foothold in the world of data, build your network, and discover opportunities. Amelie Kuhn said it best at the Tableau conference in 2019. She said it's data plus women, it's not data minus men. So what is our topic for today? I am very, very excited about today's event because I had the very good fortune to attend Irem's workshop last year. I found her workshop, Brand Your Superpower, super helpful and empowering. So I wanted to share her work with you, with the Data Plus Women community. And that's why we are starting off 2021 with a non-data related event. But I'm sure it will be worth everyone's while. So please enjoy. We will start off, so Irem will start us off with her presentation. We will have a Q&A, so please use the Q&A feature to ask any and all questions. Do give her some love in the chat. Let us know where you're dialing in from if you want. We will announce the upcoming events afterwards. And if you want to stick around, you will have an opportunity to work with Irem after the announcements and also network with the other attendees. And with that, all I have left to say is it's great to have you all with us. Have a lovely day. And with that, over to you, Irem.
Hello, everyone. And thank you for the introduction, Heidi. I'm really great to be here and I'm really happy to be with you all. So as Heidi mentioned, we will be talking about your superpowers, which is your personal brand. And I will share presentation just in a moment right now. And to start with, if you want to have the pictures of the slides, if you want to take notes, you're free to do that. You don't need to ask, and you're allowed to do that in advance. So let's start. And let's start with today's agenda. So what are we going to do at the beginning is we are going to look what is personal brand and what's personal branding. I know that I have seen your applications and I know that you're really experts in your field. And you are data people in the world, and I think it's now, especially now in Germany, but I know that there might be other people from other parts of the world. So you are the data people, and I know that since I'm a personal branding expert, I'm going to mention who I am in a second. I really want you to bring another perspective. You have the value of who you are in this world, in what you're doing, and you really can find a way to serve who you are and make a difference through your personal branding. So we will talk about why is personal branding important at the beginning, and then what does personal branding provide. You might know some about personal branding, you might not know about it, or you might know a lot about it. I will bring another perspective with my personal branding model, which is branding me personal branding model. I will explain all the details, and since you are the data people, I have put every detail in it and you're gonna love it. And I will explain how to create your personal brand, how to market your personal brand, and how to communicate it. And in the end, we are going to have an exercise which is also a little bit part of the personal branding model, which is about your personal brand discovery. It's about your strengths, how do you want to perceive in your field. So let's start. Who am I? Let's start with who am I. So I am İrem Sefa Yayımlar. I'm from Turkey and based in Istanbul right now. So in my education, I have studied international relations, business administration, and European politics. And these are my master degrees and my bachelor degrees. And also I have studied social entrepreneurship in Oxford University. And in my experience, I have started with Tesco as a marketing analyst. I have all gained experience in marketing and brand management in the corporate companies. And I think like Tesco and Pledis are Tesco is a UK company. Pledis is based in Turkey, UK, and some other parts of the world. And Sabancı is a Turkish company. So what I've done is I have worked on brand management and strategic marketing. And now what I'm doing is I am using all this branding and strategic marketing experience with the performance coaching experiences I got from Landmark Worldwide in London. And I combined all of this and created my model through William Arruda's school. William Arruda is like the personal branding guru. If you're interested in that, you might heard about him. And he has a school in the world about personal branding. And I'm a graduate of that. And I'm a personal branding strategist. So what I'm doing is all the background and experiences and expertise I have got from the corporate companies, I'm using this for people and especially for women. So I will explain how I am doing through the model right in 5 minutes. So I would like to start with what is a personal brand. By the way, if you can we use chat right now, Heidi? Like if I ask questions, can they write from the chat right now? Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I would really love you to like join with me, and like if you want to join through the chat, it's gonna be really fun. So tell me, like, what do you think about personal brand? Like, what is personal brand? What do you think? What is that? If you're writing in a chat, I will wait for a sec and see what you think about it. The image I give to the outside of it's perfect. It is, yes. The image you give to the outside world. Yes, great. Any other ideas? How I express who I am and what I stand for. It's great. Yes, yes, Heidi. Yes. This is also a part of personal brand. And in the literature, and thank you for your answers, it's great. So in the literature, how it's written is it's a sum of perceptions and feelings that include the experience of a person in the relationship with another person or community on all platforms, online or offline. So it's, if I call your name, if I call Iris, if I call Heidi, what do people think about you in online and offline communities or online and offline networks? This is your personal brand. So how Jeff Bezos describes it is like, your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So it includes rumors about you, but also it includes like, for example, Iris is a great person. She's like really team player, for example. This might be a part of your personal brand. Or Heidi is a great connector. This is also part of your personal brand. So these, whatever people say about you, this is about your personal brand, and you can control this. This is why I am explaining all of this. So what is personal branding? Personal branding is the process of implementing strategic marketing tools on a personal brand, on your personal brand, in order to reveal the strengths and leadership of a person in a way that serves the purpose you want to achieve in your career field. So you should start, if you're really interested in personal branding, you should start with where I want to go. If you really see where you want to go in your career, but it's not like an HR question, like where do you want to be in 5 years? It's not like that. Like, how do you want to express yourself in this world? Like, what do you want to make a difference? Like, how do you want to make a difference? This is what I'm talking about. This is not like an HR question. So how do you want to make a difference with your all unique talents, skills, and your passion in this world? You're putting it there. And then you're using the marketing tools and branding tools on your personal brand to go there, to make it faster to go there. So this is like, in the end, you're going to be like more known, more credible, and more demanded in the target market to go to the career point, like the goal that you want to reach. This is about your goals and This is about the strategy that makes faster to go to that goal. And why is that important? Because I think you've all heard about the cliche that you have 7 seconds for a good first impression and 20 positive experience to correct it. If a person doesn't like you, you need to create like 20 more positive expression and experiences to correct it. And in online platforms, it's really like less than that. It's like 3 seconds. In 3 seconds, people decide to follow you or not. And also, 84% of decision makers in business life primarily consider references. And I think since you are the data people, you're really like interested in numbers, and 84% is a huge number. And 65% of internet users find online research results on people and companies more reliable than any other source. And I think this is the most significant one. I have done this workshop with HR people. They like, you know what they're saying? Like, they are saying, we look at the CV of the people, and also we look at the online presence of the people. And if we don't like it, if it doesn't represent who he is or she is, we are not even calling them to interview. So online presence is more important than you think. You should really invest in that. I'm working with like people, I'm giving the person branding consultancy to like CMOs and really like C-level people. And I'm really like surprised with how they are not expressing online. And they think, and you might also think, since you are data people, you might think that I'm going to do my job, I'm going to do my best, and people are going to see that. But it's not happening in that way. I'm sorry, it's not happening that way. You should show who you are, and you should really focus on how you present yourself. And this is not like showing off, but this is of showing up in the world. Because if the people don't see you, if people don't see how you show up, how you create value, how you make a difference in this world, they can't reach you. And this is your responsibility to make people reach you and be available for them. You can't just be really like in front of computer and work and really try your best and wait for people to discover you. They're not going to discover you. So there's also one thing that I want to really like emphasize. When I say personal branding, some of you might think like self-sales, like selling yourself, or self-marketing. And branding is not all about this. The difference is in sales, you have like one-to-one deal and persuasion, and it's more like linking one to another. And in marketing, it's more like tactical, promotional, and it's really like saying you need this. It's about convincing people. And this is pushing people into something. And branding is not all about marketing or sales. It's about the perception. It's like strategic impact and emotional bond you're creating with people. And this is like pulling people into your space. And it's like creating the magnetic space to people. And it's like being really the one all people are searching for you in your field. And this is why we are talking about this person brand. It's because you're all unique. You're creating a unique value, but you don't express it. And you might not even really aware of it, how you create your uniqueness. You might, and you know what's the bias in here? We are all thinking that our unique talents are not unique. Everyone has it. And because of that, especially women don't express how they are unique in business life. And you know what happens then? If you don't express how you're unique in this world, people don't get it. And you don't get the value in return. And then you're complaining, I'm not getting the value I deserve, because you're not expressing it and because you're not really aware of it. And that's the sort that really like the source is not other people. Source is in here, especially in compared to men and women. I'm working with both, but mostly with women. And I can say the main difference between women's expression, self-expression, and my self-expression is women are really like doing something like 99% perfect. They're perfectionists, but how they're expressing it is like, oh my God, it's 1% missing. I couldn't do that. It's missing. I'm not enough. But in men's expression, how they're expressing, and I really appreciate it. Even they have done 75% of job, they are saying, I have done an amazing job. And guess what happens? Women are saying, oh, I'm doing something really I'm not good enough. But in the other hand, the people on the other hand, in men's side, they are saying, I did an amazing job. And then when you compare it to the expression, people think that this is not good enough, but this is really doing amazing job. So really we should think about how we are expressing ourselves matters over there. So really, in short, I can say personal brand is your superpower and you should use it. This is, if you're gonna get something from this workshop, you should just first of all, you should really get this. Personal brand is your superpower, and most probably that you're not using at all. So how are we going to use it? First of all, there's some, you may ask if I'm using my personal brand, if I'm using my superpower or not. So there are some checklists that I have written for you. If your product or service is valued more than your competitors doing the same job, if key communities in your field invite you to your event as a speaker and authority, if your target audience finds you, not you're chasing after them. Target audience includes, if you're an entrepreneur, target audience is your clients. If you're working for corporate companies, then it's your managers. And in the authorities in the other companies in that field. If you don't have to sell, your brand is demonstrating its value and the right people are lining up for your service or product or to work with you in the companies. And if you feel that you're showing your own word and making a difference, then you're using your superpower. If some of them are yes, some of them are no, then you have a space to go. If all of them are no, then you have a lot of space to go. And this is also good news that you have a space to go in this, to use your superpower. And how it's gonna happen. So there are 3 pillars in personal branding. So the first one is to find and really clarify your personal brand promise. And what is the promise that no one in the industry has made? You should find your uniqueness. And this is, in marketing terms, we call it differentiation and unique value proposition. You should find your unique value proposition in the world. It might be a combination of your talents, skills, and your expertise and your passion. And also mission and vision. It's a combination of who you are, and this is a unique combination. You think you're only the people, maybe, or you think you're just doing your job. You might think in that way, but if you combine it with your talents, skills, passion, mission, and vision, it's really unique. No one else has it in the world. You should really first of all, you should be clear about that. No one has it in the world apart from you. You should find that combination first. Secondly, it's the brand communication. So you all have the unique value, but as I said in the beginning, you're not communicating it properly. So do the people you want to impress see you? This is the question in the second pillar you should ask yourself. So this is about visibility. So being visible to the target audience. And the third pillar is, do you keep your promise in everything you do? So what's the promise? Brand promise. So if you're giving a promise I am the person as a team player and very expert on data, and I'm really visionary and giving futuristic trends and insights, this might be brand promise for tech companies, for example, then you should really do that in every communication, in every work you do, and you should do it intentionally. This is what I am talking about. Every brand solves a problem, and you should really solve this problem. Whatever you're solving in the industry, you should solve it on purpose and consistently. So this is about brand experience. And if you're doing all 3 pillars perfectly, then your personal branding, you're using your personal brand and superpower, great. So Now I'm going to switch to my personal branding model that I'm going to explain in detail. Let me check timing. Okay, we are on time. So the first step that we are going to look is, yeah, I see the chat, and you're welcome, Iris. I'm really glad that you love that. So the first pillars, we are looking at personal branding discovery. So if you're really interested in personal branding, first of all, you should look at yourself. And you know what I'm also experiencing through my people who are getting consultancy from me. They're saying is, they're coming to me, they're saying, oh my God, I'm not really like managing more social media, and I don't have like great online presence. That's why my personal brand is not powerful. And I say, it's not about that. It's like personal branding is not social media management. It's not that at all. It's first of all, you should know how you're unique. Do you know how you're unique? Do you know really like what's the brand promise you serve? Like what's the brand promise you say to the world? And this is really important. The most difficult part and most really important part in personal branding is personal branding discovery. It's not like social media management, because if you really know who you are and how you're unique, it's not difficult to say what you want to say in the social media. You're not communicating yourself in social media because you don't know what to say in most cases. So it's the first part. And second part, it's personal brand building. Third part is then personal brand communication and sustainability. So I have written every tool that, almost every tool, I can say. Almost every tool I'm using for these pillars, so that if you don't work with me, you can use yourself, like you can use this model for yourself. It's all like, it's, by the way, it's on my websites, it's for free. You can really go and use it. I'm really like in the stand of people should use it to make a difference in the world, even you don't work with me, because I believe that this is the way to have a fulfilling job, fulfilling life, and making a difference. And I imagine if really everybody uses her or his personal brand in the world to make a difference, the world is going to look like a different place than now. So first of all, in the personal brand discovery part, you should start with personal brand survey. And what is that? I'm using a database to make the personal brand survey, and this is like the 360 reach personal brand survey. But if you don't want to use this, you should go and ask people, your colleagues, your family, your friends, your mentors, your teachers, your clients, like, what are my greatest strengths? What are my greatest weaknesses? Like, how do you know me? Like, what do people come to me to what help they want from me, or what I'm the expert on? Like, if you ask these kind of questions, you really like be amazed by the answers you're getting, and you will discover something that you don't know about yourself. It might be both good and bad, by the way. You might not like your weaknesses. Sometimes you don't like it, but it's going to give you some perspective, because Jeff Bezos says your personal brand is what people say when you're not in the room. So if you want to work on your personal brand, then you should know what people are saying when you're not in the room. That's why you start with personal brand survey. And then you should go for personal brand audit. Google yourself what Google says about you. Is it the thing that I want to express myself? And is it okay with how I want to express myself? Is it reflecting? Or when I Google myself, do I see my name over there, or do I not see my name over there? If you don't see your name over there, then you're a ghost brand in online platforms. You should immediately do something about that. And also about, like, you should find your strengths. I wrote that SWOT analysis, but I'm not interested in your weaknesses. I'm interested in your strengths. Personal branding is interested in your strengths. I know that you have invested on your weaknesses for years and years, but it doesn't work. You should really focus on your strengths. I'm not interested in your weaknesses. You should go for your strengths and invest in your strengths, not your weaknesses. I think this is the whole bias. And I have done also that, like, I have invested my weaknesses, and I think this is waste of time. Go for your strengths. This is only like, because they are the part of you that this is naturally strong, and why you're not interested in your weaknesses. The part that is really strong works for you. Go for that. And mission and vision, like finding your mission and vision, also really important in your brand discovery, and your leadership, your talents and motivating factors. And also from the survey, you can get the answers for each step. Personal brand survey is really important. I really recommend you to do that. In the second part, it's about like if we finish the I part, me part, let's see like that, just a minute. Yeah, if you know yourself, then in the second part, you know your competitors and your target audience. So in your competitors and the target audience part, you're looking at unique value proposition, you're defining a niche market, that who you are going to impress by your personal brand, who needs to see you really, like who do you want to impress, and you're positioning yourself, and you're having a target audience analysis and competition analysis. Like in the second part, in the brand building part, target audience and competition analysis is very important. You should know how you're different from your competitors, and you should know how you can serve for your target audience. And if you don't heard about brand archetypes, I think you should go for it. There are many tests about brand archetypes. You're making your test and you see, like, I'm not going to go in detail. There is a whole new world for brand archetypes, but I really want you to search for it and see how you are really like, in which archetype you are mostly like suitable for. And you might find a slogan or tagline that might be also like the shortened part of your brand promise. But you know, the difference between showing off and showing up is your reason to believe part. If you're showing off without reason to believe and your proofs, then you're really like showing off. But if you have, like, for example, I'm saying I'm the only person who has the certificate of International Personal Branding School in Turkey, and among really like very rare people in Europe and in the world, because I know this is a proof. I have the certificate, and I know the number of people who has that certificate, and that, like, you know, if you have the proof, then you should say that. This is not about bragging. This is about giving the proof. And it's about the personal brand identity. It's, if you really like know who your competitors, if you know who is your target audience, and if you know yourself, then you have a personal brand identity with all of this in the end. After you have your personal brand identity, then you can start communication. And I don't really, I mean, prefer you to start communication before you doing this stuff, because if you start to communicate yourself without knowing who you are, and really like, it's not like knowing who you are, but knowing how you're unique, then you might be complicated and you can't focus in your communication. It might be misleading. And in the communication part, you can update your profiles, you can write an expressive bios including your brand promise, you can update your CV, and especially LinkedIn is very important. But you can go for the, if regarding your target audience, you can go for Instagram or Facebook. But I mainly, all of you, like, I've checked your applications. I think LinkedIn is your space, and LinkedIn is your main social media tool, and maybe Twitter for some of you. And you can create like your personal brand story to share, like why you're doing this. And for the personal brand story, why you're doing is the, like, why, answer of why is the most important thing. Because apart from how you're doing it, or what you're doing, or for whom you're doing, why you're doing is, it's the most important part. People are interested. I'm doing this job because I think that everyone is unique, but they don't know how to express. And if I believe, if people express how they are unique, it's a way for them to make a difference for wider and broader number of people. And this is gonna make the world as a heaven. This is my motivation. This is my why. And my motivation is like, my why and your why is very important than the other stuff. So really, like, you should go for why you're doing this. And then personal image, like, it's not like having some branded items or really like being a chic or cool person. It's like, we are going to look for in a moment, it's like, do you really want, like, do you really express how do you want to be perceived? Like, is it matching? People see you and you want them to see you in a way. So is it matching? You should look that in online and offline platforms. And also you should manage your network in a way that you're not managing your network, but in a way that you're bonding with people. And how I call this is, you can really like meet people without agenda. I think this is what I call for network management, because I don't like network management expression. It's because it's not like, network management doesn't include human relation and human bonding. When I don't find any other better expression. If you find, please tell me. When I am saying network management, it's about really like creating relations with people in your business area. Your colleagues are not only colleagues, they are also people. They have emotions and they have relationship. You can really create bondings with them. And this is really important in your personal brand communication. If you are really bonded with people, even their colleagues, then you can create your brand ambassadors, that they can be references for you. They can introduce someone who is really important for you. So it's about all sharing yourself. And in last part, it's about being consistent, having brand collaborations, having like really brand projects, like personal brand projects, and having a KPIs that you're measuring how you're measuring the success of your personal brand. And I think you're really like perfect on that. I'm not going to explain KPIs, and you can really create better than me. So this is the model. And about the pillars that I have shown in the previous slide, this is all about the first pillar, brand promise and positioning. And this is about the visibility, about the second pillar, and this is about the brand experience. So if you want to have a picture of this, you can have a picture of this, and I'm going to switch to the exercise right now. Yep. Yeah, I love this, and I want to share this with you. Be yourself, because everyone else is already taken. I love this. It's not my quote, it's Oscar Wilde, but I want to share with you because it's very inspiring, and it's really my motivation and logic behind why I am doing this. And now the exercise. This is the first part. This is about the personal brand discovery. So I have said, like, the brand discovery is the most important part in personal branding. So I will use the Johari window. You might have heard about that. So it's about, like, we have 4 squares in here. So we have not known to self, but known to others part, which is our blind spot ourselves. So you might think that you're not an inspiring person, but people might think about this. You are an inspiring person. So this is your blind spot. You should really go and discover this. And unknown self, this is, you don't know about you, and also people don't know about you. And that you might discover this as well. And this is known to self and known to others. This is representing how you show your personal brand. And this might be a really like small square for some of you, and it might be a bigger square for others. So it depends. But open self is the part how you show yourself to the world. And known to self and not known to others is the hidden self. So especially for women, there's a lot, like there is really like in here there is a huge world about yourself. You have great talents, you have great expertise, but you don't show it to the world. So this is your hidden self. So why am I talking about this? Because the point is, we can make the square bigger than it is now. This is how we can work on personal brand and how we can make it bigger. And this is the answer. For the blind spot, you can go and ask people with the feedbacks and with the surveys, and you can know about your blind spots through the feedbacks. About the hidden self. So if you have some talents or skills, or I don't know, a passion that people don't know and you don't really share, and maybe you don't have the courage to share, you can start to share about your hidden self which really makes a difference on your personal branding. You can share that part. And about unknown self, you can collectively discover what are the other talents or unique passions that you even are not aware of, but it's already there and you forgot about them. So if you work on these 3 squares, then your open selves get bigger and your personal brand expression in the world gets bigger, which is a wider impact on your target audience, and you can make a more difference in the world. So the exercise part, I'm going to give you like 3 minutes for now, and we're going to share it after the question and answers part. What are we doing right now? You're having a paper and you're writing, how do I want to be perceived? Please write like at least 3-4 stuff over there. And how am I perceived in here? And what should I highlight and share? And while you're doing this, what should I highlight and share? Please think about your goal. Why you're interested in personal branding is your goal. So regarding that, what you should highlight and share. So I think I can give you 3 minutes. You can work about it, and then you can share. By the way, someone has raised her hand, I think. I have seen it. Heidi, is there anyone raising her hand? I saw it. Leah.
Not at the moment, I think.
Leah just raised her hand, I think.
We had a hand raised earlier, yes, but not right now.
Okay then. Okay. So we can give 3 minutes, and then you will share this, work on it. You will share this after the quick Q&A part when we finish recording. So I will be switching to the next slide, and please keep working on that. You will be also sharing it in the question and answer session. And you might have a picture of this if you haven't yet. I'm waiting for a moment and then I will switch. Yeah, so to brand your superpower, there, like I have mentioned about the model and the first pillar, a little bit about that, and you have your exercise and you're going to be sharing in a moment. And apart from all of this, you should be really like be patient and consistent. Like being patient is really important because personal branding is mostly investing time rather than money and any other source. Like time and being consistent is really important. And I mean, I think this was the biggest challenge on my personal branding process. That's why I'm laughing right now. So because like I was like, oh my God, I'm doing something. Why am I not having the result of it immediately? And it's not happening in that way. You should be really patient and consistent and keep going and keep doing what you're doing. It's gonna really have you're gonna have the results, but you should be patient. And in the second thing is you should really differentiate and focus. You can't be a Me Too brand. If you want to really be a brand and you're listening to me like for almost an hour, and I think like you are that kind of person that you don't want to be like a Me Too brand. So if you're that kind of person, then you should differentiate and focus. You can't be copying others and you can't be a copycat. And the other thing is you should create a value. Like, I mean, I'm sure you're creating value, but you should also express how you're creating that value for your target audience. And you should take leadership. You should take leadership for your community. You should take leadership for your target audience. And you should take leadership in what you're doing. Like, you can't be in the backstage doing your job and looking for people to discover you. It's not how we do it. And really like knowing your audience, who you are serving for or who do you want to impress is very important. You should know them. You should know their motivations. You should know their needs. You should know what they're looking for, and you should really know them. And you should be visible and share your story. I have already mentioned that, but I want to mention that again. And I know that you might be comfortable or maybe not comfortable about sharing yourself. But if you share yourself for the sake of just showing yourself, it doesn't really make sense. I know that. But if you share yourself from the context of making a difference for the people that you work for, then it really makes sense. You're out there sharing your story to make a difference. If you have that empowering context with you, it really gives you courage and stand up from the crowd and say, I'm here, I'm creating this value, I'm that unique, and I have the proof. So it's also including creating collaborations with people. Even with your competitors, you can do that, because in like nowadays, you can create win-win games even with your competitors. So collaborations are really important to create your brand ambassadors. And of course, being authentic, like, you know, everybody else is taken, so be authentic. And yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm doing personal branding consultancy for women in business, especially women in infopreneurs, to recreate their personal brands and demonstrating their unique value and leadership. So as our time is limited, I will be living here, and I have three services that I can offer for you from after this if you're interested more. So I will be having a workshop that I will be implementing this personal branding model on your personal brand and having the exercise for 3.5 hours on 4th of March. And if you're interested in personal branding consultancy, you can go to my website, Brand Women Leaders, and book your free discovery call. And also I have some resources in website again, and you can you can subscribe for the events and for the resources in the website as well. So I mean, this is my motto, and this is really like my motivation doing this in here. I was really happy to be with you in here. We are not finishing right now, but I just want to say, like, each time a woman stands up for herself, She stands up for all women. And even your man listening to this, if you stand up for yourself, you're included in this. Like you're standing up for your community. Like whatever you're standing for, you're standing up. And I want to thank you for Heidi for this invitation. So I'm like now leaving the stage to you, Heidi, and we'll be here for the Q&A session to answer your questions about exercise.
Amazing. Thank you, Irem. Thank you so much for being here with us. I'm really looking forward to comparing what people wrote in their exercises. We don't have any questions right now. Feedback from the chat has been brilliant, so thank you for that. I will share our upcoming events first, then I'll stop the recording, and afterwards you are all gladly invited to join us for a bit of networking and also for comparing your exercise with Irem. So let me pull up my screen again real quick. All right, so we have a couple of upcoming events. I'm really excited about them. I'm actually aiming for monthly events this year, and we are pretty much on track. So the next 3 months are already charted out. We have Lindsay Betzendahl coming up on Tuesday, March the 30th at 6 p.m. Central European time, and she will talk about Mums Who Viz, her initiative about mums in the data visualization community. After that, in April 27th, we have Eugenia Keys talking about the Tableau Community Equity Task Force. So another way of branching out and creating more diversity in the data community. And then on May 25th, we have Katarzyna Szymanska talking about her data science journey. So if you're interested how to upskill or to develop yourself into the area of data science, you should definitely attend that one. As you may have noticed, all our upcoming events will always be on the last Tuesday of the month. So I'm hoping to keep that up for the rest of the year. Do sign up already so that you will get all the reminders and everything. And I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And with that, I will stop the recording. And again, thank you, Irem, already. And I'm really excited to delve into the networking part. So please, everyone, stay around.